What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. I hope everybody's doing well, having some good weekends. I know the weather's starting to get a lot nicer here in Michigan. It hit 80 degrees for the first time all year, which has been pretty nice. Besides that, I'm here to make my favorite kind of video for you guys. That is a horror movie collection update video. These are all the horror Blu-rays I have picked up in the last month. I believe it's been about a month since my last update. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Now, the first three titles are three I've shown already on my Astronomicon video in the haul I got from the convention, but just in case anybody missed that, I will show you real quick. We got a Synapse film movie starring Sam Raimi as this crazy maniac that is Thou Shall Not Kill Except. Still waiting to open this one up. This looks pretty fun. Not sure what I'm waiting on. You guys know how it is with physical media. So many choices. Now here's one that I actually reviewed last week, so if you want to check that one out, Flesh Eater, Revenge of the Living Dead. Be sure to check out that review. Then we have this shot on film video right here. Movie Blu-ray, Wicked World. Look at that. Look at the quality on this one. I don't know. Looks fun. I'm glad Vinegar Syndrome puts these out. And once I started grabbing some Vinegar Syndrome, which I have plenty of Vinegar Syndrome in my collection, but once I got them from the convention and I got all my movies with slipcovers, I kind of had the urge to go on like a Vinegar Syndrome kind of run. So I went on their site and picked up some fun titles. And the first one is one I'm really excited to check out. This is the 4K and Blu-ray combo of Deadly Games, Dial Code Santa Claus. Now, this is one I heard of when I was searching for the Arrow video release of Deadly Games, which is a completely different movie. But if you've never heard of this one, apparently it's a French movie. It's pretty much the same premise of Home Alone, where this little kid on the cover is in this big mansion with his bedridden grandpa, and an evil, deranged Santa Claus breaks in, and he's got to defend off the house, Home Alone style. And I believe this came out first. I'm not sure that... It's in debate who came up with the idea first, but I guess this is like Home Alone, but turned all the way up, like really violent and horror, so I couldn't pass that up. And look at this artwork on here. Gotta love good artwork on a horror Blu-ray. So I'm not a slipcover guy, but as I commented on those Vinegar Syndrome ones, the slipcover on those are beautiful, hard casing, you know. Just like this new one right here, Graduation Day. Now, and look at the back right here. How cool is that? Now, this is a pretty basic slasher from what I'm aware of. Some girl going to college, her whole track and field team starts getting taken off one by one, and it becomes kind of a mystery of who did it. So, I'm always down for a slasher. It's my favorite subgenre of horror. And this one, reading about this one, I've heard of this movie before, but when I read about it again, these are all Vinegar Syndrome titles right now, by the way. I really want to check this out. So we have Night Train to Terror. This is an anthology horror film, which I love anthologies as well. But the plot of this is really cool. You got Satan and God as the conductors on a train, and you have three pedestrians on there or whatever. They're riding the train. And God and the devil have to go through their stories and history and decide whether they're going to heaven or hell. And each character's story is part of the anthology. That's just a really cool concept. And like I said, I love anthologies. Now here's another, looks like it's shot to VHS. Might be a little better quality than that. I'm really excited for this one. Savage Harvest. Look at that. Look at the back of the slip. Some spooky shit, you guys. And look at these demons on the back. I know it's pretty low budget stuff. That's pretty spooky. Apparently this is kind of like a rehash of Evil Dead, which I'm all for. It looks literally like Evil Dead on the cover, going down to the cellar. Apparently there's like some disrespect to the Native Americans, so an older Native American man like resurrects this monster here on the cover, and it kind of turns into an Evil Dead scenario where the demon starts turning all the other, like these 6 kids that go out to camp out in this area all into demons, and they got to fight it off. I looked it up a little bit, so it's not a complete blind buy, and they said it is very gory. So I love me some gore. So I'm excited to check that out. Might watch that one tonight. And this is like a newer newer-ish 2 movies. What Vinegar Syndrome does a lot, just like a lot of these titles I showed you, they partner with other companies and distribute them through like their company, from what I'm aware of. But the title of this and the slipcover art, I had to get it. We have Cannibal Hookers with a bonus movie of Hookers with a Hacksaw. So I just had to go for that. Once again, beautiful slips. Like I said, I love all the other companies with their slips, but oh, got it upside down. So right here, Cannibal Hookers. Can't go wrong with some exploitation horror. Should be fun. And now this one, when I seen this movie, I thought I gotta just pick this up to see what it's about. I wouldn't call this necessarily horror. I'm not sure what you would label this is, but very controversial movie. Duck, the Carbine Massacres. Look at this. It's a school shooting movie, and apparently this movie came out 6 months after Columbine back in the day and was very controversial in the news. I was very young, and look at this. So I guess it kind of falls under exploitation a little bit. This was a fucked up movie. Ambitious, I'll say, but the timing, 6 months after Columbine. Yeah, these kids got in a lot of trouble apparently, but I watched this one the other day. Pretty wild stuff. Now here's one that is a recommendation by my friend Dennis. This is kind of more of a science fiction horror, but I was lucky to grab the Steelbook. He kind of sold me on this movie, and I'm not really into sci-fi too much, but that is Battle Beyond the Stars, the Scream Factory exclusive Steelbook. I think we're getting into all the Scream Factory titles I picked up. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. Pretty much about aliens and people living on 2 different planets, and they have to wage war against each other between good and evil. I'm kind of branching more into sci-fi stuff, and this is just a beautiful Steelbook. I don't go out of my way to pick up Steelbooks, but if they look cool enough, I'll grab them. Now, here's what I'm pissed about, you guys. I'm pissed. I recently watched the original Last House on the Left, Wes Craven, and I hate the remakes of these, honestly, but I decided to give the original The Hills Have Eyes a purchase. And what I'm mad about is I accidentally bought the 4K, which I have a 4K player, but I don't like to buy all these movies on 4K when a lot of my favorites I haven't upgraded to. There's certain movies like Flesh Eaters and Dial Code Santa and Alligator, for that matter, that I bought that are 4K that are blind buys, but they come with the Blu-ray as well. And I just hate that this is... I thought that was a digital code. You can't have my codes, guys. But it's just the 4K, which for a movie I haven't seen, and I don't even really like the remakes, I'm not sure what I'll think of this movie. So it's like, out of all movies, I wish I could have had this on Blu-ray. But I'm pretty excited to check this out. If it's anything like the remakes, which I would imagine since they're remaking this, we'll see. This is some weird shit, these movies. Wes Craven made some fucked up stuff, guys. And now, let's see. So, I picked up a couple that I thought were out of print, but they were not. So, the first one being Phantom of the Paradise. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this because it's kind of like a musical, and I'm honestly not the biggest fan of like Rocky Horror Picture Show and films like that, but I mean, a collector's edition. The price was getting up pretty high with the slipcover edition, so I thought, I got a feeling this one's going to go out of print soon, so I picked it up. And here's a really funny one. I thought this one was legit out of print. And I always held off on buying this one because, for some reason, I own 2 copies of Army of Darkness on DVD. And though I like to get all my horror, for the most part, on Blu-ray, and I really wanted this collector's edition of Army of Darkness, which I'll show you, Army of Darkness, I would think, why would I buy this when I have 2 unopened copies of Army of Darkness? But I've always known for the longest time, as a horror nerd, this has to be on my Blu-ray shelf. If we're talking Blu-ray collection, this is a must. And when I kind of looked into it more, and you can see the price, $30, that's not bad. When I honestly thought this was out of print. And you can see it's 3 discs. So you have the theatrical version, director's cut, and the international cut with a whole bunch of special features. And I just thought, time to do this movie some justice. I love Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi and all of that. So I'm very happy to put this on my shelf finally. Now we have one that was not a pre-order, but I got this delivered the day of the release. Didn't know a lot about this movie. and I don't really care too much for the cover art or the slipcover, but it's a Wes Craven movie, Cursed. So I definitely wanted to check this out. I like who's in this. They have Christina Ricci, Jesse Eisenberg, even Joshua Jackson's in this. So apparently, the same production company that made Scream made this after, I think this 05, one of Wes Craven's final movies, I believe. And they were trying to catch the same magic as Scream, but it didn't happen. I watched the trailers and the CGI, and this looks pretty garbage. But I like the cast. I like Wes Craven. I'll never pass up on a Wes Craven or a John Carpenter or even a Tobe Hooper collector's edition of a Blu-ray, a Scream Factory release, that is. So had to pick this up. Now we have three more, and they're all Scream Factory. And I just want to let you guys in on something. I'm pretty new to buying titles off a second market. I usually get them new. But if you're looking for some good deals on Scream Factory movies, I'm in a page on Facebook, a big old group. I believe it's called Scream Factory Collectors Buy, Trade, Sell, or something like that. If you search something along those lines, you'll find it. And a lot of these people in this little community there are pretty cool. Like, they'll put their stuff up there before eBay. You don't have to bid on the stuff like that. You can direct message them pretty easily. And a lot of these deals are really, really good. So I've actually only bought 3 titles from this page, and I've had a good experience every time. So this is kind of me starting to reach out in the realm of these out-of-print titles in Scream Factory that I've always wanted. And the first one is not horror, though it could be. It's just a pretty hard one to get a hold of. I literally just watched this movie. I got done watching it right before I started recording, so I might do a review of it if you guys want. But that is the Garbage Pail Kids movie on the Blu-ray Scream Factory. But what makes this way more pricey is the slipcover that comes with it. I'm not a big slipcover guy. I know I've mentioned them numerous times in here. Like, if I can get a slipcover, I'll take it if I have the opportunity to. But because with Scream Factory, a lot of times I believe it's 3 months guaranteed slipcover, and after that they're no more. So if I can get like a new title and get the slipcover or get a deal like this with it, I'll take it. But at the end of the day, I don't need it. But I just love the way this green slipcover pops with this one. This is a weird movie, guys. This is really weird. And now we have 2 more that I picked up on this little page. And the first one is one I've been kind of debating on getting. And that is The Strangers. I don't normally get movies around this time. I'm more of an 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s kind of guy. But I've been kind of wanting this one for a while. It's just, I believe, almost $35 on Amazon. And that's just expensive. And they had a non-Scream Factory edition for like $8. And I was torn between, do I get the cheap one or do I get the $35 one? But a cool guy on this page gave me a really good deal on this. I got this for $25 with the slip unopened. So that's $10 cheaper unopened with the slip. So very happy with that. And this one was a little more pricey, but I'm glad to pick it up because honestly, for what I paid for this was a really good deal because I've seen this movie go for about $200. And this is another director that I'll throw up there with Carpenter and Wes Craven and all them. Clive Barker, Lord of Illusion. This is a movie I wasn't too aware of for some reason. I've loved horror my whole life, and I never really heard of this movie. And when I heard of a Clive Barker movie, and just the looks of this, it just looks really cool. And I got this for a pretty damn good price too. So I'm excited to have this in my collection as well. So, yeah, a lot of cool movies here. Fun way in how I got them all. Some from a convention, some I got into Vinegar Syndrome through the collection, picked them up. Some good abstract ones. And then I kind of went on a Scream Factory binge or whatever. But, yeah, I'm pretty excited to throw some of these in. I haven't been able to recently because I've just been binging Friday the 13th movies. And every Friday the 13th, I miss out on an opportunity to make a cool Friday the 13th video on this channel. I swear I'm going to do one for the next Friday the 13th. But all that matters is I sat back and watched some. I watched 1, 3, 4, 6, and I started Jason Takes Manhattan. Didn't finish it, though. Maybe I'll finish that up. But, yeah, let me know in the comments if you have seen any of these movies, if you have any questions about anything, if you have any movie suggestions, if you'd like me to review any of this. Anything you want to ask in the comments of me, I will be happy to do it. I love making these videos for you guys. So any suggestions, yeah, feel free. And if you've seen any of these movies, like I said, let me know your favorite part in any of these. And with that being said, I feel like I got to plug the podcast. I have a new podcast I've mentioned a couple times. I co host with my good friend Nick Baker. It is called the VHS Days Podcast. Now, it is not horror related. We are going to do some horror movies eventually, but it's all types of movies. We just got done recording a 2-part episode of Jurassic Park that will be out just in time before the new one comes out in theaters. So if that's something you're interested in, listen to us kind of break down movies that were in that era of the video store. Yeah, definitely go check that out on Spotify at VHS Days, DAZE podcast, and on Instagram and Facebook, VHS Days Podcast. And if you want to give me a follow on Instagram, Killer Pizza 138. I don't really use that too much. I'd rather just come straight on here and talk to you guys. But also, let me know what the hell you guys are watching. I've seen you guys have been watching some pretty cool shit. BL is always sending me some badass suggestions and everything. So, yeah, shout out BL. Shout out everybody watching. Appreciate you guys. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your weekend and watch some damn horror movies, guys. Blood, guts, gore. I'll check you next time.